All right, let's go. Good morning. I'm breathing. If I'm breathing heavy, it's because I just held my breath because I was ready to go live, and I think I might have the hiccups. I think I might be okay though. I think I might have beat them. So, all right, how are we doing on this yucky, disgusting, rainy, windy, miserable Thursday afternoon? It's 65 and super muggy. Front coming through. Not much went on last night in the world of the NHL. We'll talk about the standings, which somehow are just even more absurd with last night's results. Colin, how you doing, buddy? Tonight's Finns game is in Baltimore, right? Is it in Baltimore? Um, the reason why I asked that is because um, no, it's in Miami. Okay, so the weather. I was saying because the weather. You guys know I live right next to Baltimore. So no, I mean I still think the Dolphins are going to get killed, but at least the weather probably won't be that big of a factor. Colin says the Checkers need to give Black a rest or running him into the ground. I had to look at that. How's he doing? Let's see. How is Cooper Black doing? Come on, open up. Let's go. Oh, what happened? No, I don't want the Rochester. I want the Charlotte Checkers. So Cooper Black is. We're not going to show his stats. God, he's so tall. Um, he's started 7 games at 21 goals against. He's got a 3.24 and an 8.75. That's not good. Last year, he only played 17 games. He had a 1.98 and a 9.10. But he's already played 7 this year. How old is this kid? It would be nice to see him start to make the next jump. 21. 21. So he's still crispy young. He's still crispy young. Give him a couple of years to marinate. Hey Craig, yeah, Marshy's showing off the ice that he's a fantastic example of being a good friend and human. Completely agree there. That was fun to see. How much fun would that have been for those kids, huh? Brad Marchand's your coach tonight, kids. Bex, how you doing, buddy? Kenneth says Mike McDaniel coaches game laying face down on the sideline. Hey Bill, how we doing? I'm okay. When the weather gets like this, when it gets really, really humid and moist, and my joint pain from the Lyme disease, Donna was saying, "You okay? You don't sound so good." I'm like, "I'm here. Mentally, I'm good, but physically, the joints." When we have weather like this, it's unpleasant, which is part of the reason why I don't live in Florida. Although the warmth, I guess, kind of evens that out. Michael says, dang, the Canadians are going to be good this playoff run. Utah, I'm surprised they're up there in the West, and Buffalo may be ready to surpass Toronto. Yeah, we'll talk about the standings here in a second. JC, good to see you. It's been a wildlife week for me. First, a wild panther, then a couple of rattlers soaking sun in the driveway. And yesterday, you killed 2 black widows. Damn, JC, you got 2 pest control people. They trying to tell you something, huh? A wild panther. Ain't that something? Hey, Jameson says, thinking about the Barkov injury, it's kind of like we have Barkov in our back pocket. Whether or not we get to use him this year depends on how deep we go into the postseason. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what level of Barkov we have, I don't know. But I'm going to I'll be surprised if we make the playoffs. I'm almost expecting him back at that point. Bill says humidity is bad for my hairstyle. That's true. That's true. Colin says I have a feeling tonight's game will be a run fest. Very, very possible. Right. Yeah, exactly, Michael. How rusty or out of shape will he be in the playoffs? Well, I don't know about the out of shape part. Now, remember when Kucherov was hurt years back, and then he was practicing with the team for almost a full month. So I would suspect that, and I know practice isn't the same, but I would still suspect that if Barkov is going to come back, that he would be practicing with the team for at least 2 or 3 weeks, and be pretty well conditioned. But the rust part, yeah, I agree there. But it's 6-1, right? I mean, you can't not throw them out there. So I want to share the screen. Somehow the standings got even crazier last night. So we only had the one game. The Blue Jackets beat the piss out of the Maple Leafs. So now if you look at this is obscene. The Panthers are 11. The Panthers are in third place, have played 11 games, and have 11 points. So do the Senators. So do the Maple Leafs. Everybody's 5-5-1. And even the goal differential, -4, -3, -4. I mean, these three are the same. And then you get to the Sabres and Lightning, and yeah, they've got one less point, but they've got a game in hand. Like, all it would take is the right combination of results, and it would be Canadiens, Wings, Sabres, Lightning. In one game, just one. That's all it would take is one game. And then, of course, the Bruins bring up the rear, but they're still got 10 points, but they just got the extra games played. Crazy. Now, when you get over to the Metro, again, the top two teams, and then, the Hurricanes with 12, Capitals with 12, the Jackets win, so they have 12. The Flyers are at 11, but they got a game in hand here, and the Rangers are really, technically the worst team along with the Islanders. Don't ask me, I just work here. Like, I don't know any of these teams. Assuming if you just assume the top, and then the top two here that you're assuming is Pittsburgh. Are we really going to assume Pittsburgh's going to get a spot? I don't know. But it's absolutely Cocoa Puffs. Kenneth says, all I wanted for the Leafs this year was to keep up with the Panthers. Be careful what you wish for. Yeah, that's a good point. Michael says, you can't do too many exercises with his legs for a good while is all I'm getting. I understand what you're saying there. Certainly. When that whole Coach Spoelstra thing came out and he said Barkov told him he'd be back in 5 or 6 months, my assumption was that what Barkov told him was he'd be back skating on the ice in 5 or 6 months. So I don't know. Injuries are so different than they used to be, right? Because the medical advancements and the things that they can do to relieve pain and the imaging is so much better. You got a guy like Tkachuk playing the whole playoffs last year, needing surgery for an injury that he realistically shouldn't have been able to play with, which is crazy. Hey, David, how you doing, buddy? JC says, you just texted me a pic. Why don't I have my phone? Oh, man, hold on. I got to go get the phone. Hold on a second. I always have my phone. I dropped it and broke it this morning. The screen's all busted up. I got to get a new phone now. Hold on. I know. I already started it. Somebody texted me something. I didn't have my phone. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, don't knock over. I'm knocking the camera. Jeez, what an unprofessional outfit this is here. All right, let's see. Let's see a picture of this Panther. Busted my phone all up, man. Oh, and Kyle with the eBay security codes. Hold on. He don't even tell me he's doing it. Hold on a second. We got to get that situation fixed. We can't figure out why the eBay thing just keeps signing him out. All right, here's. Holy crap! Is right. I was looking in the middle of the road, JC, because I was like, I didn't see how far it was. Damn, he's big. It's a shame. I got to see there. God dang. He's big, JC. Screw that. And he's just like hanging around and hell no. I don't know. So you can't. Yeah, you could maybe see it. You guys can see it even though the phone's all busted. That's big, man. Jeez. Holy crap. Great White, how you doing, bud? It says Tarasov is 0-3 in his first 3 starts. Are we getting to the point we can't win without Bob and net? I blame the look. Hold on a second. I blame the Panthers. This is pathetic. Right? So he's 0-3, right? His numbers are 264 and 886. So his save percentage isn't spectacular, but 264 ain't the end of the world either. But he's allowed 3 goals, and 2 goals. And we haven't managed to get any of those games to overtime. Right? Because remember, against Philadelphia, there was the 2 empty netters. His best game was against the Devils. He allowed 3 goals on 33 shots, so the Devils beat the crap out of us. And then against Anaheim, he allowed 2 goals on 17 shots. So what the Panthers need to do is score some damn goals when he's on the ice. That's what they need to do. And also, I would say that maybe he needs to play an extra game or 2 now and then. He's not really been able to get into a groove. So he played on the 13th, which was the first game. His second game was his best game. He played 3 nights later on the 16th, and that's when he had allowed 3 goals on 33 shots. He didn't play again to the 28th. It was 12 games, so he was completely off. I'd like to see him get on the ice a little bit more, but that's just me. That just means Maurice will play him less. Yeah, David, he says, not sure if you all heard, but Marshy's friend's daughter died of cancer at 10 years old. So he took his place coaching a team that they co-owned that was doing a fundraiser for the family. Yeah, we saw that. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's hard. It's hard. I wonder how people will find a way to hate him for that. Although he wasn't always a Panther, so he might be able to get away with that. JC, he's a big boy, right? Bills, yeah, Kachuk playing with that crazy injury was nuts. And he got better as the playoffs went on. He got better as things went on. Hey, Simon. So I think what we're going to do I haven't talked to Kyle about this, but I actually kind of did. I believe what we're going to do for the Halloween stream is stream the World Series game and just have some fun with that. I think I'll just get completely inebriated and we'll get Kyle drunk and we'll stream the World Series game. Kyle, did you hear that? Yeah, open up the door. I think we'll make it easy on ourselves for the Halloween stream instead of trying to do a bunch of skits and everything. We said we were going to do a game 7, but Toronto could win tomorrow night. There's nothing else going on. Yeah. So we'll just we'll get a little bit of, smoking the pancake, and then we'll just stream the baseball game.
Yeah,
How's that sound?
that sounds pretty fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun because Donna's got to work in the morning anyway. So we'll just stream bad baseball.
You got your phone on?
I sent it to you.
I'll probably have to send you another code since it took so long for you to.
Yeah, just send it to me and I'll watch for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, here, I want to show you something.
Right.
You know, Giancarlo lives near Dallas. My phone's all busted up. I dropped it this morning, but you still should be able to see that.
Is that a picture he took?
Yeah.
A panther.
It's a big ass panther.
The thing is huge.
I know. And he's just looking at JC like, you want to be lunch?
That's sort of like the look Fluffy would give. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's Fluffy reincarnated as a panther.
Hello?
Bill says Panthers' biggest problem is they can't score. That's for sure right now. Okay, yeah. Also, I'll watch for the text and I'll forward it to you as soon as I get it. Okay. Great White. Yeah, let's get Terrace off on a. But it's weird though. I mean, we know we had this weird schedule here towards the end of the month with so many days off like that. So everybody's go Jays. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Oh, sorry, Bill, I missed that. Yeah, Dietrich. So before the Marlins came into existence, I was a Dodger fan. So Kyle and I are going to have a friendly wager on tonight's game. But let me forward him this code. But I will be rooting for the Dodgers in memory of Tommy Lasorda. So that's how it is. Great White. Can I give Leia a little bit more stream time? Yeah, we're getting there. I got to get used to it, Great White, and I don't mean that in a negative way. We just haven't really developed as much of a routine as I should with her just yet. I'm still getting used to it. You know what I mean? Okay, good. The code worked. But yeah, Great White. That's definitely something in my mind. Anthony says, Jaws, been watching a lot of Panthers Digest. If you know who that channel is, he says we got a shot at a bunch. He says we've shot a bunch at the net, but it's just not going inside. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't watch his stuff. I'll be straight with you. Yeah, our shot percentages are terrible. Certain guys, the shot percentages are terrible. For sure. Yeah, David says it's really too bad the NHL doesn't have a competent media division. With NBA tanking, ratings down 56%, the NHL could really grow itself right now. And they do this thinking the Frozen Frenzy on a Tuesday with I didn't know it was, I mean, I didn't know it was any, I mean, I knew we played all 32 games, 32 teams, but in terms of any of the special coverage that they did, there was basically no advertising for it. They did it on a night when the World Series was playing. It's almost like they purposefully try to temper their own growth. Beck says Dodgers didn't look very good last night. Liz, I see you now. Yep, we see you. Is that 3 cups or is that not 3 cups? That's what we need is 3 cups. Good to see somebody here from Twitch. Every once in a while we get somebody who shows up. Yeah, Bex, I've heard that complaint a lot. I don't want to rag on the guy because it's bad. It's bad me being a creator. The more people that make Panthers content, the more people search for it, the more algorithm shows it to people. I mean, they're independent creators in a sense, but it's a company. So they have Rangers Digest and Panthers Digest and, et cetera, et cetera. They have all the teams. Same thing with like a Hockey Now thing, or there's a couple other of them, chat sports, stuff like that. So they, they're able to do all the editing and, pay for certain advertising and whatnot. So I've had people say that they don't like it. Because the clickbait, yeah, that's the one thing I can't do. I can't do it. Like, I can't take a game in the middle of October where the Panthers lost by a goal and make the title of the video, "This is literally insane." I just can't do it. I can't. So if it works for other people, it works for other people. I can't bring myself to do it. Hey, Great White. Thank you, brother. Thank you, bud. Much appreciated, Great White. Thank you, brother. Come on, Panthers. Let's start winning. We'll get there. As long as we're hanging around. Thank you, Great White. Appreciate you, man. Hey, D-Tron, is that somebody else on Twitch? That's interesting. And then Liza's on Twitter, or X as they call it now. Yeah, the Panthers Plus. Yeah, the behind-the-scenes stuff on the Panthers Plus. I can't get it because I'm not in area. Appreciate that, Liz. Thank you again, Great White. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Metal says it's like NHL game-changing move. We call up Bournefoot. Right. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to criticize the guy because I don't like to criticize other creators. It's just I can't do it. I can't do it. Every once in a while, I try to make something that's a little bit to grab the attention. The algorithm, the problem is the algorithm. You know what I mean? So, like, on one hand, I can't make those kind of titles. I just can't do it. But on the other hand, I understand why people do it because it grabs the algorithm's attention. You know what I mean? So I could put out the same exact video, and if I title it Panthers win 5-4, Marchand had a good game or whatever, and then in the other title, I'm like, you're never going to believe what happened. The one that says you're never going to believe what happened is going to get more attention. And so how to balance that as a creator, how to balance, you want to succeed, you want to grow the channel, but you also don't want to sell your soul. And it physically hurts me to think that I would have to switch to those kind of titles to grow the channel, if that makes any sense. Hey, Vincent. David, no, it's very true. Oh, Dietrich, you're D-Tron. Very cool. That's cool, man. Communist says the shock faces, the click. The arrows are the ones that get me. Everybody's using the arrows. This is insane, and then it shows an arrow to the player. It's like I see that all over the place across all genres. I seen Leon Lush do it a couple of days ago. I'm like, what are you doing, man? I appreciate that, Jameson. Beck says, once Chicken Chuck comes back, I think the Cats are going to go on the run. I agree. If we can tread water at this point without Kachuk, we're a little spoiled. Now, let's be honest. We're spoiled, okay? I mean, this is our 4th year of streaming these games. I say this all the time, but it keeps happening. This is our 4th year. It's 10th year of the channel, 4th year of streaming the games. Kyle and I still have not streamed a Panther game during a season in which we'd been eliminated. Okay? I mean, that's spoiled beyond all repair. Kenneth says, I'm having issues with YouTube. Wonder if I should jump over to your Twitch account. That's interesting. Yeah, the problem, communist, is the algorithm, right? Vincent says Jaws though has no dignity, and no popularity. Has puppets and a raspy voice, so you're stuck. I do the best I can. I do the best I can, Vincent. You know, I am what I am. It doesn't matter what subject is. I make the video and I'm like, it's the same. I sound the same. I could run 1,000 channels on 1,000 just different subjects, and it would be the same exact thing across the board. Bennett says, or Beck says, I'll put Bennett's Chicken Chuck and Samuel back in the second line. Yeah. I got Chicken Chuck here. I still don't have a voice for him. Let me see if I can get him up. I should at least place him. Maybe that's what I'll do. Is I'll put Chicken Chuck downstairs in the recap room so everybody can see him. Let me take okay. I was gonna take Luongo off. Can Billy hold on to Chicken Chuck? Hold on a second. No, that's not. Well, maybe. No, that's just gonna knock Billy down. Oh, I got this glass. We'll have Chicken Chuck sit in the dolphin glass. Is that on camera? Barely. If we move Billy over here. Now I'll put him downstairs. I'll have to put Chicken Chuck downstairs. Maybe if I see him during the game, I'll get the inspiration for his voice. I had a voice earlier in the summer that I might have thought was going to work, but I don't know why that voice won't come to me. Yeah, the covering the face with hands thumbnail. Yeah. Beck says, anyone got insider knowledge on Panthers Reebok jerseys? I've been hunting a Barkov Reebok for a while. No, I mean, you already know the answer to that. eBay is where I find everything. David says, I think it's great that the fans finally realize just how great Sasha and Chucky really are. Yeah, it was tough, right? Because Chucky was one kind of player. First year, broken sternum, right? And so he changed his style a little bit, which is fine. He's not the biggest dude in the world. He just can't go around trying to decapitate people all over the ice every night. Because it comes back to you, doesn't it, Chucky? Keep your head up, dummy. So I don't mind that he changed his style a little bit. Kind of like Ekblad had to change his style. And Ekblad's still improving. Bex, yeah, the voice will come, right? JC says Chicken Chuck sounds like Mahomes in your head. I wish Kyle could do a voice that would help me out. David says, to me, Sasha's the first player I'd pick in the entire NHL to build a team around, and Chucky brings both the fire and the skill. He's irreplaceable. We'll be okay. I'm interested to see, like a parrot on my shoulder. I don't think I would still have to get some kind of contraption. I would have to get something. I would have to make some kind of harness. Let me see. I would have to make some kind of harness, right, to get them to come out of the shirt. No, it ain't working. It ain't working. I'll figure it out. I would have to get some kind of string and make a harness with it and see if I could get them to sit on top. Vincent says, well, I suspect Chicken has to have that co in his speech since he's an instigator. Well, yeah, the voice will come. We'll be okay. Or the chair. Maybe I'll get one of those mechanical puppets. Like if I could sit them right here and you know what I mean? If I had the voice, of course, you'd be watching me say it. Next thing you know, I'll be a ventriloquist, right? Jameson says maybe a harness under the jersey with the magnet to clip to the bottom of the feet. Yeah, that might work. I'll have to see I'm sure they make stuff for ventriloquists. Craig said, yeah, watch some Jeff Dunham. Yeah. David says, think about it. 2 players, the difference between us being clear favorites to repeat and us being unable to defeat the Ducks at home. The Ducks are good, though. How bad is it over in the West? So when I count it up, we're going to do Jaws. We're going to numbers by Jaws again. If I come over here to the East, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 teams out of the 32. 17 teams out of the 32 in the NHL are within 11 points. So half the league is between 12 and 10 points. More than half the league is between 12 and 10 points. And nobody's better than 16 right now. And I can't believe the Penguins are on that list. So nobody is running away with anything. Quite literally, 9, 10, 7/8 of the league, if they won 3 games straight, they could be in first place right now. And the only teams really getting flaming out are the Sharks, the Flames, the Blues a little bit, and kind of the Islanders, but they still got 9 points in 9 games. I've never seen a start like this before. Anthony says, what are my thoughts on trading for Willem Wallander from Detroit? He's a young defenseman. He's blocked because they have other top-tier guys they believe in more. My suspicion there, Anthony, is that the Wings wouldn't do us any favors. You know what I mean? If you're talking about like an AHL guy who might be ready, I mean, maybe they would do a swap for one of our forwards that might be ready. That's what we did with Sordiff, because Sordiff, is he playing? He got picked up. We traded with Washington there. But I don't know if Detroit would really be willing to help us. I'm interested to see Sabrango. You know, I mean, we see it with Forsling. I'm not saying Sabrango is going to be Forsling, but some of these players, they don't look so good elsewhere, and then they come in and they can fit right in with us. Hey, Simon, what's my opinion up to the NHL Olympics? How do I think the Panthers are going to do? Well, it depends on when we get Chucky back, Simon. If we can get Chuck back January, I think we'll be doing better as we get closer to that time. But everything is, you know, I mean, the Lightning have won 3 straight. You know, the Sabres have lost 2 straight. Leafs aren't. I don't know that the Leafs, to be honest with you, I'm not so sure Toronto's going to make the playoffs. And I don't mean that because they don't have the talent, but the Atlantic is just so obscenely competitive that, you know, if Toronto doesn't really have that genuine belief in them that they can, you know, win a cup this year, some of these other teams like Buffalo, Ottawa, Wings, they may just be able to win those, you know, win the head-to-heads and end up getting in over them. David says, I'm not losing faith. I think we make the playoffs in the Stanley Cup final, but man, it's going to be a lot tougher. And wouldn't that be a testament to this team if they actually could pull that off with all these injuries? Anthony says, Josh, you wouldn't have to give up a lot for him. I looked at the return he would get, and maybe he's a lower tier prospect in a late round pick. So who's this guy? Let me look now. William Wallander. Let me see. How do you spell it? Linder. I put an A there. All right. You could tell he hasn't. There we go. Swedish Swedish ice hockey player. Let's see. He's 23. So he's 6'4", 190 pounds. So he's got some height to him, but holy crap, that's like a goalie. So he was taken in the second round, a late second round pick by the Wings. He's 23. Is that goals? He's got a little bit of offensive upside. Can't really tell, obviously, just from the stats here. But he has played plenty. He's been in the AHL now. This is basically his third season. This would be his third full season. I don't know, obviously, much about him, but whether or not he's ready or not, I mean, we do have a few guys of our own that we don't know if they're ready or not. I don't know. I don't know if the Wings would help us out. Tom says, do I have a puppet for Ekblad? Maybe an eggplant. I try to be nice to Eggplant now. I try to be nice to him. You know, he has improved, and he's been on the team that we won. You know, we won 2 cups with the dude, and he has improved. Although an eggplant puppet that was like had a needle to like put the PEDs in, like get an oversized eggplant, you know. I don't know. I don't know how kindly some Ekblad has his defenders, and rightfully so. David says before injuries it was the Cats and everybody else. Now it's just everybody else. Yeah. Jameson, you think the Canucks are going to slide a little bit? Sordif got a goal last week. Let me see. Let's check him out. He was ready. Sordif was definitely ready. He's got a goal in 10 games. He's still only 23. So, yeah, he's played all 10 games. He's getting 11:34 ice time. He's a +2 with 1 point. And he's taken 10 shots. His shot percentage is 10%, and his faceoff percentage is 50%. So 11:34, I guess that's fourth line minutes? Or is that third line minutes in Washington? I know our fourth line guys, or maybe he's killing penalties. I wonder if he's killing penalties. Yeah, he must be killing some penalties because there's some nights where he's under 10 minutes, and then some nights he's got 11, 12, even 14 minutes here. So he's probably killing penalties. So that's good for him. Hey, if he's killing penalties and he's a +3, he must be doing something right. Beck says, hoping Kachuk will be back by the Winter Classic. That's actually a good, yeah. Bill says the Leafs don't look good. Yeah, they don't look right. And how could you be? You just can't lose a guy like Marner and not really replace him. Let's be honest here, you know? Anthony says Detroit's so deep, I don't think they would bat an eyelash by trading them. They're deep at defensemen in their system. I mean, if he's on, he needs to gain some weight, though. You know what I mean? But maybe if they wanted to, just have one more defenseman to develop, we don't have a ton. I'm ready to see Horvolka. How's Horvolka doing? When are we going to see Horvolka? I'm just going to pound it for this guy. I mean, he's 6'6", 229. He's 24. God, he's undrafted too. Is he playing? Yeah, he's got 3 assists. He's a +2. He's ready. Bring him up. I want to see this kid play in the NHL so bad. I want to see that big dude in the, you know what I mean? You know he's got to get physical with these guys. Last year was his first full year in the AHL. So, I don't know. Come on. Instead of trading away assets, I'd like to see him, right? Pellegrino, yeah, Huberdeau. Yeah, he kind of got the shaft of the deal. Stacy says, do you guys think it's a chemistry issue with Bennett? No. Some of the things that he's doing, we were bitching and complaining about here the same part of the last year. With the trying to split the D. He's missing Kachuk. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different situation with the guys that he's got now. You know, if he was playing with Marchand, maybe it'd be a little bit different. But you got to put Marchand with Lundell and Luosterainen. He doesn't really honestly look hurt. Maybe he's looking like he doesn't want to be all that physical. But as we saw last year, these guys are going to pace themselves as much as possible. So his face-off percentages have been okay. Being put down to the third line has actually helped our face-off percentage because he's doing better against that competition. And we kind of feel like he'll be fine. You know, it's not like he's looking terrible, but I get it. Once, and to speak to the chemistry part, once you get back to Bennett with Kachuk and Samoskevich, I think, remember how Bennett looked? Remember how Huberdeau looked, and then we got Sam Bennett, and all of a sudden Huberdeau had, you know, that's what got Huberdeau that contract, because you played him with Bennett, and all of a sudden his skills went through the roof. So it could very well be some sort of chemistry thing. He needs Kachuk with him. Gotcha, Anthony. Well, Anthony, I'd be interested to see if Zito feels the same way. I hate to see what Detroit would make us give up. Interdivisional trades when we're actually chasing Detroit be interesting. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, bud? You going to the Dolphin game tonight? That's good. Have fun. Dolphins are going to get obliterated, unfortunately. Dave says, Benny, a playoff guy like Swaggy. That's true, too. Stacey says, Leafs, Panthers, Lightning all collapsing after Boston collapses is quite surprising. Each one's got their own issues, right? With the Panthers, obviously, you've got the injuries, and we just got so many at this point. It's just absurd. Now, the Leafs, they put so much mental effort into last season to win the division. They knew that if things went poorly, they knew Marner was probably going to end up gone. And I think they just spent a ton of emotional energy last year, making sure they had home ice. They had a 2-0 lead on the defending champs. They had a Game 7 that they worked for at home. And what was it, 6-1, right? 5-1, 6-1, whatever it was. And then Marner goes. And I know some people have tried to sell Michelli as a decent, replacement for Marner, but you just don't pluck a normal a guy in hockey and put him up there where Marner was and expect the same results. So it's probably, in my opinion, a little bit of crisis of confidence for the Leafs. They're like, well, if we couldn't do it with Marner, how are we supposed to do it without? Tampa, to me, I watched highlights of the first few games, and it looks like they played a little bit better on defense. That's going to be Vasilevsky. How Vasilevsky goes, how Tampa is going to go, because their defense is nowhere near as good as it needs to be right now. Lundberg says, this is the transition year the league has been waiting for many seasons. Everyone seems to have a shot at the playoffs. That's true. That is dead true. Steve says, yeah, the Atlantic is always so competitive. Major players missing out on a lot of points towards the playoffs. No joke. But if everybody's doing it, you know what I mean? Like, Panthers are in third. It's Panthers, Senators, Leafs, Sabres, Lightning, Bruins. 1 point separates all those teams. Panthers, Senators, Leafs, 11. Sabres, Lightning, Bruins, 10. Any of those teams, who's going to go on the run that separates them? Florida could do it when Tkachuk gets back. The Senators could do it when Brady gets back. I don't think the Leafs have it to do it. I don't think the Sabres have it to do it. The Lightning could go on a big run if Vasilevsky got hot. I guess maybe the Leafs, but Stolars would have to carry them a little bit. And I just think the Bruins aren't as bad as people think, but I think in the end the Bruins are going to end up in last place again. Jameson says, 2 types of Cats fans. Ekblad truthers and Ekblad defenders. Boy, I'm way behind in the chat. Chat must be moving faster. I'm talking slow. Vincent says he won't send me anything. Let it go already. I'm like a forgotten nightmare for Ekblad. I bet you I could get I bet you I could get him triggered, Vincent. What do I get, Vincent? What do I get if I can prove I can get Ekblad triggered again? I'll create another Twitter account. I'll create a Jawsaholic 2 Twitter account just to see if I can trigger him again. Yeah. That'd be fun. Anthony says, Jaws, watch hockey long enough. Who is the closest hockey player that you've seen that you would say is the same style of a guy like George Atkinson in the NFL? Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Geez, it was somebody that just retired too. Damn, there's a name on the tip of my tongue, Anthony. A guy that just retired. Wasn't Thornton. Let me give that some thought, because there's a name right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember who it was. Craig says Horvolker or Alsher would be good to see. I mean, I guess we're going to try Sabrango, right? We'll see what happens there. Real says the Leafs are down like 3 or 4 starters. Simon, in terms of surprises in the Western Conference, obviously Utah being as good as they are is a little bit of a surprise. Kraken. And I'm shocked at how bad the Flames are. That's for sure. Kane and Crosby both on teams second in their division, always falling behind again. That was always going to be the case, though, right? They expended so much energy with the chase last year. I still think Washington can make the playoffs, though. Bill says Bennett's pacing himself for a 10-goal season. Me, it seems we're outplaying teams for big parts of the games. We just can't score. We've had a couple of clunkers. Yeah. I mean, Pittsburgh, we outshot them like 33-17 or something like that. We're slowly rounding into form. Now, why the puck's not going into the back of the net? When's the last time that we had any deflection goals? There's nobody in front of the net creating any kind of chaos. No shots coming from the blue line to try to get a cheap one in on a deflection. There's a few things we're not doing that teams that score a lot will do. You know, I mean, Ekblad's got a shot. Jones has got a shot. We know Forsling has got a shot. Like, we've got guys that can shoot the puck. Even Balinskis doesn't have a bad shot. I wish we just, every once in a while, instead of just dumping and chasing, every once in a while, I'd like to see if we could get somebody to the net to create some chaos and some screens and some deflections. We're hardly doing any of that. Tkachuk will help there, though, for sure. Dangle was furious last night, bad-mouthing Semi Blaze for the scoring on the Leafs and saying that the Leafs goalie need to be sent down. Isn't Joseph Woll coming back? Isn't Wool coming back? What do you do? Put it in his own net? I think Wool's coming back, though. Then it says Bennett's image is on your milk carton, right? Anthony, yeah, we just don't draft a ton of defensemen. Well, there you go. Dennis said it for me below your comment. We don't draft enough defensemen. I completely agree with that. Stacy, yeah, I did a video a couple weeks ago on that Reddit post. We had fun. We covered it on the live stream, and I put the clip out on the channel. Was it that one? There was that one, and then there was an article that somebody I think it was the Atlantic. Was it the Atlantic? I'm not sure, but they were comparing the Panthers and Lightning. They were comparing it as to be like a political battle. It was quite amusing. Metal says new trigger word for Jaws, ESPN Plus. We're 4 minutes behind. We missed the goal. David says, while I do not believe the Mammoth are a playoff team, I do believe the new album by Mammoth called The End is worth the listen. Wolfgang Van Halen plays all of the instruments and does vocals. Oh, that's cool. No, that's relevant enough. Yeah. I didn't know that. Wolfgang Van Halen. Very cool. Metal, yeah, a lot of teams are blocking shots and passes too. Stacey, I don't think we'll be getting anybody in terms of forwards, to be honest with you, because it's two worlds. If Barkov comes back, we don't have the money. If Barkov doesn't come back, we'll have some money, but there's no Barkov. So I don't know. Can we make a trade with Pittsburgh where he goes back to Pittsburgh next year? Probably not, huh? Can we make a trade with Pittsburgh to where we just like loan them a guy and then we get Crosby, and then after he wins the cup with us, he just goes back to Pittsburgh and they keep the guy as payment for services rendered? Beck says Reinhardt got a deflection goal last game. Was it Reinhardt or was that what the Lundell one? Because we missed the goal because we were 4 minutes behind, Bex. Was that the goal we missed? That would make sense. Hey, Derek, how you doing, bud? Anthony says it's hilarious how the media defends Toronto and uses excuses like that. Players out injured. Well, they hate us. You're not going to get any love from the media when you win 2 cups in a row. You know what I mean? Connie says, I'm happy that the Mammoth actually have an owner who cares and attends the games as fan of the team. As we know, Panther fans and Dolphin fans, but especially as Panther fans, we know ownership matters. Ownership absolutely matters, man. I feel bad for Arizona fans. Then it says, Keller was playing well to start the year and they were still winning. Now Keller is scoring. In your opinion, the Mammoth will 100% be in the playoffs. Yeah, and I think they're good at goalie too. Great White wants to know who's my favorite Panther. You love Reinhardt. For me, it's Forsling. Yeah, in terms of current Panthers, yeah. That he's just a machine. I wish I could be as consistent at anything in life as he is on the ice. Dave says, you just got to realize the Leafs are the Yankees of the NHL. They just haven't won anything in a long time. It was the goal tied off Jones' shot. Oh, so we may not have seen that it was Reinhardt. I thought it was Jones. Tarasenko had the best quote during the finals against the Oilers after the Panthers losing 3 straight. He said they weren't shook because it was a privilege for the Panthers to still be in there fighting. Yeah, he was a good dude. At least he got his cup. Fossey says, who's been the bigger surprise, bad Leafs or Panthers? I don't know. Honestly, with our injuries, especially if you would have told me we'd lose Kulikov and we'd have 11 points after 11 games, I'd say, yeah, that kind of sounds about right. I'm not all that surprised about the record. I'd hope for a little bit better. But when you see the difference, when you see what's going on the ice, there's moments of frustration, but it's hard to get real upset or disappointed with the guys because, there's just been so much inconsistency. Even when we finally won the good game the other day, then Marchand had to be gone for a game and Gadjevich got hurt. So my hope, though, is that Schwint can continue to play well, but his faceoff percentage is not good. So that could be a problem if he can't get that faceoff percentage a little bit better. Who's my favorite Panther who started the career with us but ended up winning a cup with another team? Who's done it? Who's done it? That's a question for who's done it, Anthony. I'm sure it's happened, but somebody that we drafted that won a cup elsewhere. That's a hard. I don't have an answer for that right off the top of my head. Yeah, the Cowboys of the NHL. David, yeah, we're going to be streaming the Dolphin game tonight. We're going to get Gadjo's supposed to be out for a week. So for those of you who were not here earlier, what we're going to do for the Halloween stream is Kyle and I are going to stream the World Series game, but we may not. We may be inebriated. So drunken stone baseball coverage for Halloween, and we'll have our masks and stuff. I think that would be fun. That's something different we haven't done. It's the World Series. They could win the World Series, so what the hell? There's no hockey. So I think that's what we're going to do tomorrow night. It's a Friday night, right? Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll go 18 innings again. Donna would love that. She goes to work in the morning anyway. So Nathan Horton is the only guy. Strafasi, yeah, okay. Well, but they didn't start their careers with us, communist. I think if he was talking about guys that we drafted, Strafosky might be right about Nathan Horton. No, I don't think we drafted Marcia. So, I don't even know if he was. I don't even know if he was drafted. He might have been drafted by Tampa. No, he was undrafted. Marcia So was undrafted. Yeah. And he started his career out. His first games were with Columbus. And then he had 45 games with Tampa. And then we got him in 16, 17. So kind of like we got Verhaeghe because Tampa didn't have room for him or whatever. Same thing happened with Marcia So. Oh, Bomeister, did he let's see. Did he win a cup? Yeah, right? Is that when St. Louis won? 26. Is that when the Blues won in 1819? Is that when they won? Yeah, that's another guy. Bomeister, yeah. David says, here's a question that seems easy. Better goalie, Bob or Beezer? I mean, we got to give it to Bubba, right? We got to give it to Bubba. But I don't think that diminishes what Van Beesbrook was able to do. And just such different goalies, different size, different. I mean, it's hard to because when we look at when you look at Van Beesbrook's career numbers, career number 298 and 899, he actually finished under 900 for his career. God, he played the last full-time season he had was in 01. It was in 01. He 42 games for the Islanders, was a 301 and an 898. He had some good years, but when you look back at his save percentages over the years, the 2 years, the 3 years, 4 years, 5. The first 4 years he was with Florida were pretty much far and away his best. But with the Rangers, the years he played full-time, 879, 887, 882, 890, 881, 887, 891. Then he had the 910 and a 9.00, and then we got him. And then he had a 924, 914, 904, 919, and then he kind of went down from there. I think if you looked at the stats, you'd have to give that to Bobrovsky. But Beezer was probably making 50 or 60 saves a game. It's interesting. Let me look at that. That's a good. Let me just look at his best year with the Panthers. 94, 95. Why won't it let me click on that? Why is that link not live? I'm confused. Oh, I see what we got to do here. Okay, hold on a second. His best year with the Panthers, 94, 95. Shots against 34, 23, 19, 30, 25. Actually, his shots against, there's 44 against the Rangers. It wasn't all that bad. I'd say, it wasn't great. I'd say it probably averaged 27 to 30 shots a night is probably what we were allowing. Did that get better at 95, 96? No. It looks pretty much like on average he was probably facing 25 to 30 shots a night. But nothing, a couple of 40s in there. Every time I say nothing terrible, there's a couple of 40s in there. Colin says Martin Necas agrees to an 8-year, $11.5 million contract extension with the Avs. Woo, boy. Everybody gets paid. They must have a lot of taxes in Colorado. Schrodinger's cat said Leafs fans finally get their cup tomorrow. Wouldn't that be something? I know Brian Campbell did not start with us. I believe Brian Campbell started with the Blackhawks. I believe he was drafted by the Blackhawks. I could be mistaken. He was drafted by Buffalo. He was drafted by Buffalo in the 6th round. So we got him. He played with Chicago before us and after us. But yeah, he got drafted by the Sabres. And then they either lost him or let him go to San Jose. He must have been traded. Yeah, he was traded in the middle of the year to the Sharks in 7-8. No Bob Stander. Anthony, so Horton was, yeah. Real says, anyone else not want Matthews for U.S. team captain? Sorry, but I'd rather have one of the Kachuk brothers or even Eichel of the players and else so forth. I don't understand why it's even a discussion that, if Chucky's not playing, it makes sense. But if Chucky is playing, how do you choose the guy that lost to the Panthers twice over the guy that won the cup twice? I don't even understand why it's a discussion. But that's just me. Do I think the USA has a realistic shot to win the gold? I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. They're not completely out of it, right? Anything can happen. It's a shame Russia's not going to be there, except it's good for Bobrovsky. Dave says, we had some really bad teams in front of Beezer. That's for sure. Yeah, Aaron, history remembers the winner. I love what my first dog's name was Beezer. So Norman Paul says, I'm not sure what you mean to say there, Norman. David says, I think Bob's biggest strength is the ability to stay focused and make a save on a breakaway after not seeing a shot for 10 minutes or 50. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Shafasi, I don't get it. I don't understand why Matthews is the guy. Don't make any sense. All right, everybody, I got to roll. We'll be live tonight. Kyle and I will be live tonight over on the football channel. Hey, what do you guys think? I was thinking we would just we're streaming on the football channel, but also just simulcast to the hockey channel. Real quick before I leave. Think I should do that? I'm trying to get any of my channels moving. So I was thinking maybe if we simulcast to the football channel, we find a bunch of new people that don't even know we have a football. You know, if I take the football and also put it on the hockey channel, that maybe we get a bunch of new people that don't even know we have a football channel. Can we get Bob to play for Team USA? No, we cannot have a bro. No, he needs a break. As it is, he's getting a week off. I don't know what Maurice is doing. I don't know what Maurice is doing this whole year. That's what it is. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Thank you very much. Kyle and I will see you tonight. Jameson says it's a good idea. I mean, I figure what can it hurt, right? I figure what can it hurt? So, all right, everybody. Kyle and I will see you tonight for the Dolphins Massacre. And then tomorrow, I'll be live at noon. But then tomorrow, for sure, we're going to stream baseball. We're going to stream drunken Stone baseball. Yeah.